SNL was never funnier than other sketch shows, so why did it get 40 seasons compared to other better shows? In its early years, it tried to capture the counterculture movement with hosts like George Carlin, but it quickly threw that out of the window once you start getting presidents in on the joke, which was one of the few concepts that put SNL more as an Americana touchstone rather than a work of quality. To not sound like a stupid egghead Redditor piece of shit, Saturday Night Live has lasted this long solely because it
insists upon itself.
A show that reminds you of its legacy and you shrug and say, why not? Have another season. I don't give a shit. This is our culture. Feed me the fucking slop. Now, I'm not just being a hater for the sake of it. While I think Mad TV was 1,000 times better, I think SNL did a good job at showcasing some very funny performers. There's still lots of skits I like, but damn it, as a whole, most of it is pretty disposable. But let's note, it's sort of weird that for a show that constantly highlights its legacy, they never really mentioned one of the first reoccurring sketches that started in episode 1, Land of the Gorch. I'm not going to play any clips because it's such an ugly show to look at, and I always eat almonds while editing these videos, so I'm not going to lose my appetite for a video that's only going to get 2,000 views.
Why you gotta be such a bitch?
Land of the Gorch had little skits in its first season of SNL, a Jim Henson's project. Quick history. 1950s, he had a public access show with puppets called Salmon Friends. 1960s, started calling his puppets Muppets and started having characters do commercials and appear on talk shows.
No, I don't like coffee.
1970s, Jim Henson pitched pilots for his Muppets characters with 2 specials, The Muppets Valentine Show and The Muppets Sex and Violence. What? Okay, so at this time, Jim Henson was getting sort of tired of puppetry being seen as child's play, so he kept trying to push the Muppets in an edgier the Hedgehog direction. So when Henson was ranting and raving in the bathroom of a Howard Johnson's that puppets are for big, strong men and not for stupid little Barney-loving babies, little did he know that fucking stupid ass name, Mr. Michaels was taking one of his big fat famous shits in the stall and overheard Henson. Land of the Gorch first appeared October 11th, 1975. The same day Bill married Hill Dog. It's been almost 50 years and we still have to hear about Saturday Night Live and the fucking Clintons. Hashtag political. The Land of the Gorch was pretty much a flop. It was slow, sluggish, and just sort of annoying. The premise was, in a faraway world, a royal family of swamp-like beasts engage in many crude acts and get advice from a rock god or whatever. Audiences felt this really didn't vibe with the sort of New York City vibe the rest of the show had. Perhaps it would have been more successful if Henson had puppet characters set in 70s New York. Or maybe if Henson actually wrote the sketches for the characters he made. Due to television regulation rules, only SNL writers could actually write the skits, and the writers hated Land of the Gorch. There was even a Big Bird doll in a noose in the writers' room, calling the puppets mucking fuppets. Damn, that's so freaking epic. They should burn up a Barney doll and sing joy to the world that Barney's dead. That would be so heckin' freaking epic, my fellow 9-gaggers. Henson was a guy in his 40s with a wife and children who didn't sleep in a race car bed, who cared a lot about the characters and what specific sort of lines each characters would say. The SNL writers were young, wild, and brash and gave us edgy, groundbreaking comedies such as Samurai Hotel and Bee Hospital. Fucking boomers. The writers just wrote whatever they thought was funny at the time, so basically just a lot of aimless, crude humor with no real point. Remind you of anyone? Hashtag self-depicting humor. It was a big mess and nobody liked the Land of Gorch. The Muppets were scrapped for season 2. Jim Henson was offered by some British people to make The Muppet Show. In a way, Land of the Gorch wasn't a total failure as it helped Henson and his people to adapt to the modern television world. The Muppet Show was a huge hit, with the SNL Muppets being forgotten in time. For a show that likes to sniff its own farts of legacy, you would think they would have an occasional throwback to the first real reoccurring sketch in SNL history. Just have King Plubis on Weekend Update or something, I don't know. Maybe because these characters were never popular in the first place, they can't be treated like amazing characters like two wild and crazy guys. Okay, I actually kind of like this one. If you want to see the version of Gorch that actually worked, just watch Dinosaurs, because honestly, there is a reason why America said no to the Gorch. But gosh heckin' darn it, turn that frown upside down, because I have to respect all the work and effort that was put together for this. Modern SNL wouldn't even try to have some world building for an animated sketch. So yes, it was a flop, but maybe with a bit more faith from the writers who hated writing for it. Fucking boomers. King Plupus, Queen Petra, Whisk, Squish, and Vaj. Am I saying these right? I don't know. Could have been household names instead of their last appearances being in the season 2 premiere, complaining about being cut out from the show. Singing their eternal flat line in the file cabinets of SNL, abandoned, forgotten, and strummed out in the cutthroat business of television. America said no to the land of the Gorch.
I want to be the next SNL cast member.